I'm a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hey guys, your friend Don right back again for another video review. And as you can see, we're going to look at Power of the Primes, Voyager class, Starscream. Yeah, from everything I've seen and the messing with this figure, I wasn't really looking forward to doing this video review, but I'm still going to do it. It's still Starscream. He's still one of my favorite characters. But he basically got the short end of the stick in Power of the Primes in my book. But let's jump into this. But before we look at Starscream, as I mentioned before in previous videos, he did come off his Power of the Primes card. And I should also mention, before I really get into that, I did get Starscream in a trade. I traded him to my fellow Spark brother, Jeremy. Thanks, man. I appreciated all this. I got this guy, and I got a few other figures, which I've been doing reviews on. So yeah, thanks again, brother. But again, he did come with a Power of the Primes card. Here we have Starscream's card with Quintus Starscream. Gives life to an army of his own. Basically, kind of gets me the idea that he's making his own clones, which is kind of a callback to the animated and Power of the Prime series where he did have some clones. So that be it as well. We'll set this aside. And well, first, before we jump right into looking at Starscream, which does look kind of bad, I don't know what it is, because this guy kind of, whoops, didn't realize his tail fins here was not down. But here he is, Starscream in his jet mode. Yeah, doesn't look that good, does it? It makes me think of the movie-verse version of Starscream, which I'm not a big fan of. The molds, I'm not saying nothing wrong with the molds of the figures that's come out, but I'm just not a fan of the look of the movie figures. But this Starscream, again, he makes me think of that mold, the look of that and that jet mode and stuff. And it looks bad. I mean, you can pretty much say this is his robot mode right here. But we'll get into that. Just the jet mode just looks bad. But before we get into all more, let's look at accessories. Do have his guns, which is his no rays. He does have two of them. They are nice plastic, but they do kind of, to me, they can feel kind of flimsy. I mean, you can see how it bends a little bit. They seem like it's a real thin plastic. But it's not bad. Good. It does have some good detail work in there, but the instructions tell you to put them here on in these peg holes here in jet mode. The only thing I have with that is that it does, to me, at least to my eyes, it does seem like the cannons are pushed inward just a little bit, mostly because of the way the forearm is back here, and it doesn't seem like it gives it nice symmetry. If those weren't a little bit designed a little bit better, if these were a little bit flatter for the forearms, it probably would look better. Or if the peg holes were just a little bit further out, and might have, or even if they had it here on the forearm itself. But you can't do that on it, but you can also put it here. There's peg holes below the wings that you can put them on, and if you really wanted to, you can put them in his fists, like so. And the fist, you don't see it in the overhead view, but underneath, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, it really doesn't. You even sit it down and it not affect anything. I mean, that is pretty nifty that you can do that. It does have a nice little aesthetic to it. So, I mean, I kind of like that. But again, you're supposed to put it under here. But still, it just doesn't look right on that to me. It seems like he'd be shooting like right here, which is kind of what you'd be doing, I guess, in a way, but yeah, it just doesn't look right. He does have his combiner limbs, or I should say his combiner feet, which aren't too shabby. And you can take these and you can put them underneath the same peg hole there on both sides. And you got that. Yep, don't like that either. It looks really weird. He does have his Seeker Enigma here. It's a nice little pinkish color in red. I kind of think this would have been a little bit dark, different color. I would like this a little bit more, just to kind of distinguish it a little bit from the pink. But you can take this, and right here the cockpit does open up. It does have some tabs right here. You can pull that open, and it can like peg in sort of right here, like so. Let me straighten it out a little bit. It does kind of get that in there. You can't close it with it there, but it does have that. You can also put a Titan Master in there as well. We'll close this up, and we'll get into transformation. We're going to remove all this just to get it out of the way. And to transform this thing, first you want to fold up the front landing gear here, and we'll go to the back. And first and foremost, you want to unpeg the arms, because they do peg in to the side, which is a nice little feature. I do get that. I do like that. I'm going to ratchet them up a little bit just to get up out of the way. And then all you basically do is just pull the legs down, like so. They're supposed to be pegged in, but I thought mine were, but apparently they weren't. And you just fold these down for his feet. Now, it does show that these can stay down in jet mode. I kind of like folding them up just to give it a little bit extra, because it does kind of look more symmetrical for the jet engines and stuff, just a little bit to me, but you can do that. Next, you want to fold the fins back up, and then we have his legs all done. I'm going to raise the camera up here. Next, we're going to turn this back around. We want to unpeg the, turn this around a little bit better. You want to peg right here, the front end basically, and as you can see, it's going to do this. And you can go ahead and rotate these up like so, just to give you extra clearance, because you're going to spin this. It rotates around like so, to give it a little more clearance. And that's basically that. You then can take these bits here, rotate them this way, basically fold them up into the back of the front part of the jet here. And then you have these two peg holes here that these pegs are going to fold up into, or I shouldn't say fold up into, peg into. You also have this little bit here that it's going to kind of slide into slot right here, which is a nice little addition. I do like that bit for it as well. You then fold the wings into like this position and just fold them up underneath there like so. And also note, I did that on that one. I'll do it on this side. There is a little small tab hole right there that these little fins right here are going to basically peg into, like that. And you just fold that back down. And a step I just realized I missed on the legs here. There's a little panel here that you basically flip up, and it's going to, you got a peg right there. It's going to peg into that hole right there on the side of the knee, like so, and like so. Now I have to admit, I do like that, because it kind of fills up all that, most of that gap there on the side, so it gives that little distinction. So that's one bonus feature there. We're going to stand Starscream up, straighten him out a little bit. His forearms, got some, does have some nice tight ratchets up here in the shoulders. You don't have to have his head turned around for jet mode, but I turn it around just to give it that little bit of, hide his face a little bit. And there we have his face, and there we have Starscream in robot mode. Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't have that straight. There we go. I think of Popeye when I see this guy. I really do. If you remember the old cartoon Popeye the Sailor Man, he had the big forearms, and that's what this makes me think of, his forearms and his legs here being buffed up like they are. Now, if these were a little bit wider out, same if his chest was a little bit fuller, he wouldn't look so bad. He really would not. He probably could pull it off if he was a little bit bigger, like if he was a leader class, but yeah, I think he get really about the bad end of the stick here. You can take his null rage, and with that same peg hole we showed earlier, you can peg them in right here, like so. on each side, which this form, it doesn't look too bad on him. It really doesn't. But it still kind of is awkward because of his big forearms here. You can also take his combiner feet here, and you can do it this either way, but to give it a little more distinction, you can fold this out like so, rotate that back depending on which side you're going to do this on. We're going to put this on this side just to kind of hide it in the back. You take the null ray and you can peg it in there on the bottom, and then you take the peg and you peg it into that same peg hole as before, and you have basically like a super null ray or longer null ray gun there. We'll do the same on this side. Take that out, there's the peg hole there, peg it in, going to unpeg that and stick it in there. Peg it does like to bend on me just a little bit, and that honestly it's not so bad because it does seem like it fills this up a little bit more. It's not that great either, but it does do that. It actually kind of, in a way, the way this sits out and stuff with the shoulders and that, it does kind of make me think of the big Starscream from Cybertron, the huge, basically Titan size Starscream we got. It does make me think of that because of the way his shoulders and that were, how his special, with the key attribute that you plug in the key here and it pop out the sword on one side, pop out on this side. It was a gun, I believe, or it could have been vice versa on that, but it does give me that distinction. But otherwise, I just don't like Starscream. I don't like this Starscream at all. He does have a combiner mode, which I will show off in another video review because I'm going to show like basically how to combine the figure. But yeah, Starscream got the short end of the stick, in my opinion, for Power of the Primes. I like him, but I don't like him. If you get what I mentioned, because he just doesn't feel right at all. The big links here, again, as I mentioned, the big legs, the big forearms, just doesn't look right. It's basically Star Popeye or Popeye Starscream or Popeye Scream. Yeah, but that being said, guys, I hope you... Oh, don't forget about that Enigma, his little secret Enigma. You can put it in the port here as well. You can just kind of store that in there. But, yeah. But that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video review. Please like, comment, and share this video. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the first of this part of this month for my giveaway. If I'm hopefully getting this up before the end of this month. I've had some issues with getting these videos out due to some internet and power issues, but hopefully this one will get out there before then. If not, please ignore this part. There is a video I put out first this month for a giveaway. We get your chance at have a shot at winning an Optimus Prime or a Rodimus Unicronus from Power of the Primes. All you have to do is look at that video to find out how to enter for that. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. There are links down below for those. And also to my Twitch channel where I've been streaming some gaming on there as well. So check those out. Follow me on those social media websites and of course on Twitch. But that being said, guys, it's Dom saying thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.